What's going on? And welcome back to another episode of Games to Discover. I'm one of your hosts, Chris, and as always, I'm here with Mel. Mel, how the heck are you?
Pretty good today, you know.
Well, you love to hear it. You love to hear it. How about food wise? How the heck have you been food wise? You been eating anything good?
Okay. So, like yesterday alone, I had like three really good things. So,
Oh,
that's
three.
kind of hard to pin down. Yeah. So, like Tuesday, we did like a slow cooker thing in my house. And it was chili. I really like chili. So, like for 8 hours, I was just smelling the chili in the house. That's all I was thinking about like that entire day was just like, oh, I want to get this chili. I need this chili. And then like, when you've been waiting for something to eat for like a long time, you
Oh
finally
yeah.
eat it and then it's just like pure like, bliss, So
Oh
I
yeah.
still have like too much chili because I think, the pot I used was kind of too big. But like I really
Right.
like it, so it's fine. And I usually do like spicy or chili. This time it was like more of like a mild, basic, neutral chili. So kind of puts like a little extra barbecue sauce and like cheese in it, and I use like tortilla chips to scoop instead of crackers. But yeah, I've been on this chili kick probably for like the next I don't know, like 2 3 days,
Two
and
or 3 days for chili kick? Do you like eat
yeah, I mean,
anything with it?
uh, uh, I do have like a piece of fried chicken I have to eat like today, so today's lunches will be like fried chicken and like a side of a little bit of chili. But
Mmm.
usually I just eat just the chili. I'm
Oh,
fine with just chili.
just chiliing it up. Like when I don't eat chili because it's too many ingredients in a bowl, but the because I can't imagine you're eating it on a plate. No.
Oh, it's a bowl, yeah. I use like some kind of chips or crackers to scoop at it. But
Yeah.
it's not like every scoop I have like a cracker or a chip, A good amount of them I do.
Yeah. That's what
'Cause I think I just like the extra salt, honestly.
my dad'll do. That he will eat chili with like hers rippled chips. Just make hers yours because they're just plain chips and he's eating them, and he'll just eat those plain chips and he loves them because like you said, it's not every bite. Sometimes he's eating it and then other times he's not, but for the most part, yeah, that's how he eats them. But in terms of what the best thing I ate this week, I so I made grilled cheese, right? But I did it with grilled cheese with ham mixed in. So I got like lunch
So
meat
ham
ham.
sandwich.
What?
So a ham sandwich. You can't be like a grilled cheese with like some type of meat in it.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
just the meat sandwich at that point.
it was well
I
no,
mean, it's good.
it was grilled cheese like I normally would make where I put mayo on both sides of the bread and then
Mhm.
put it on the pan.
Yeah.
Um but what I did is broke up some pieces of like ham, like lunch meat ham, just honey ham, and threw it on there and had it that way. But yeah, I can see what you're saying with it being like kind of like more of a ham sandwich. Yeah.
I mean, I would eat it because I like that. And I know some people use the butter instead of the mayo. I either or, honestly, because
Yeah.
I saw my grandma like when she used to make me grilled cheese, she did the mayo version, and then I went over to like a friend's house and used the butter, and I was like, I don't know about this sandwich, especially when I was like younger. I didn't really like to try new things, and then I ate it, and I was like, this is almost exactly the same.
Right. Yeah, I mean, yeah, there's not really that much of a difference when it comes to eating the grilled cheese with butter or mayo, but
Like slapping it on there, but I am from the south, so some of those places do. It's just like a half a stick of butter for like one grilled cheese. It's kind of insane.
ooh,
I mean, it tastes good, but
yeah,
insane.
right. Yeah. That's like some people I know would get like for butter, um, buttered noodles. Like my idea of butter noodles, you cut a little piece of butter and then put it in with the noodles that you have. And then I made them with my friend, and her idea of butter noodles was tons of butter and a little bit of noodles. And it was,
That is pretty much my
yeah,
experience growing up.
yeah, it was like almost way too much butter. And not
You're
enough
basically just
noodles, I
eating
think.
butter. Yeah,
Yeah,
you need like it's like an excuse to eat the butter without feeling as bad. You know, it's like, oh, I have the noodles with it, but like each noodle is dripping with like 10 pounds of butter.
right. I would put a little bit of butter just so that I'm not eating a dry noodle, and that. But yeah, that's what I would do. But yeah, so that, and I almost had, believe it or not, I almost had tomato soup with it, but I decided not to and just went with the plain old
Never had tomato soup with it. I know it's like a classic, but I never did that.
grilled
I think
cheese and
that
tomato
might
soup.
be too much tomato. Yeah, I think I think that because I
Mm,
like tomatoes now, especially, but I think it might be just be too much. I know some people just like bunk their sandwich, not like all the way, but you know, like partially. I mean, you have to try it like that way, but
right.
I don't had it.
I have like a little dish, like a small bowl, and I would fill that up with it and then just dip it in, and then the rest of the tomato soup is gone. Like there's no point of having any more because I'm not going to eat it without the grilled cheese, and I basically just use it as like a dipping sauce. And
Yeah,
so, yeah, that's what I do
it's
with it.
just like it's not like the main thing. It's just like a side thing.
Right, yeah. Once the grilled cheese is gone, the soup might as well be gone in my eyes too because I'm not diving into that thing. Um,
Just eating just tomato soup. I can see it.
yeah, I could see it. Yeah, but I can see a lot of things, and there's also a lot of things I could see that I'm not doing, and that's one of them. Eating just tomato soup alone. Um, but not only did we eat some food this week, we also played some video games. Um, I am gonna start us off because there's a couple of things that I played just a little bit and didn't have too much time to dive in because I was playing the so I was playing before it was released. Is GeForce Now released like their 5080 rigs, which is, you know, higher number than the 4080, and then they went ahead, released that, and also like installed a play. So my library on GeForce Now went from like 350 to like 750, and so I was very happy with that. And so I got to play that, and I ended up playing a bunch of games. All of that to say, the first game that I did play that I forgot to mention on here in our pre-show thing was um, a game called Tiny Bookshop. Um, yeah, so Tiny Bookshop is kind of like, I guess, you know, people call, you know, a lot of cozy people would, you know,
Yeah.
people that play cozy games are like, this is right up my alley. You own a bookshop on wheels. It's like on like a trailer on the back of your car, and then
Like the bookmobile, basically.
yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that. But what you do is you go around town and you just move to this town, and while you're in the town, what you're doing is buying like selling different books, like different areas, different people are living um around there or like going through that section. So like you're going to pop up shop that day in a certain section of town, and then like you might need to have a certain kind of book, like whether it's like a mystery or nonfiction, you know, something that you're going to need to have more of. You'll have more of them there, and then people will be more likely to buy the books. So at the end of the day, like there's like a story going on, there's like stuff happening around the bookshop um that you can interact with and kind of like advance like the story of the town and the narrative going on with that. And not only that, but then the art for the game is kind of like a stylized like 3D hand drawn sort of look. I don't know. how I would describe it, but it's like, so, you know, all the menus are like basically going through and looking in your notebook. So it's like kind of like you have your notebook and all that stuff that's happening, but then you also can, in order to buy and fill up stuff in your neighborhood, like in your tiny little bookshop, you can go ahead and get like stuff in from the your notebook. You go on and see, oh, there's somebody posted a bulletin that they're selling a bunch of secondhand books, and they have this number of like crime novels and this number of romance novels, and then you can be like, okay, so good, so since I'm selling buying that today, then tomorrow I'll pop up shop over here, because what happens is you'll get somebody that walks in and be like, oh, I'm really looking for like a book like this, but you don't really have it. You can like go and get it, and then when you come back the next day, if they see that you have that book that they requested, they'll be like, oh, I see you got this, and then like they'll be like more likely to come back because you're helping them, like you're getting the books that they want. And yeah, tiny bookshop. I ended up liking it a lot more than I thought I would, but yeah. I was it was a game that I saw and I like the look of it. I really like the way it looks, and I was like, I hope I really like the game too, because um I just want to. Oh, and that was the other thing I was going to say. You can also, so you're buying like books, but then you can also buy stuff to change like the aesthetic of the bookshop inside, and like you can like upgrade it, the shelves, so then you can hold more books, and like you can put stuff outside, so when you park, you like set up your bookshop, and then it can draw in more customers and stuff like that. And but yeah, then there's also like a whole storyline going on with you're like interacting with all the different people. And yeah, tiny bookshop, I played it on my Mac and had no problems with it. And yeah, that was one of the games that I ended up playing that I was like, you know what, I'm gonna talk about this because I got a lot of like just really just grim games that I played that are not at all quite like this. So
Tonight before we started, I was looking at both our lists and I was like, this is uh this is suddenly a week with a theme.
right.
You kind of
Yeah.
ruin a theme a little bit, but you know, you gotta have something a little bit more for everybody too, you know? It's not too bad.
Right, yeah. Especially because we have, it's like we got Silksong, which we're obviously going to talk about, but then um I also played Hell Is Us. Hell Is Us is quite a name. Um,
Pardon
the so the story is, it starts off with like you're in an interrogation and like getting interrogated, and they're asking you a bunch of questions like about how all this stuff unfolded, and so then you start telling them, and it's like as it's happening, like if you die in the game, um they'll be like, the person that you're talking to is like, well, I know that didn't happen because you're here telling me the story, so tell me what really happened, and then it kind of like sends you back to the checkpoint. um
you.
but it's not like a Souls, like if you die, you go back to your last save. You don't, it's not like you don't run back to your body or anything like that.
Yeah,
um
we've been having a lot of games like that lately, so we do
right.
have to make that distinction.
Right, yeah, because some people might think that, but the combat, I wasn't sure about the combat. Oh, I'll tell you what, I wasn't sure about the game in general, because when I first loaded it up, you know what it said? It was like, we're a game about freedom. We don't give you markers, tell you where to go, what to do. You find that on your own. And I was like, I don't want to
Those are
find
like the
that.
anti-game of yours.
Yeah. Uh, but then I ended up playing it, and like you do a lot of exploring before you get into the combat, before you even have a weapon. And I was able to find out where I was supposed to go, found out where I was supposed to go, got there, and then I was like, "Oh, this is quite enjoyable." I like the combat, the way it feels. You kind of like have a um a sword, and then you got like a drone that's attached to your back. I guess like it charges there on like
Mhm.
on your suit, and then it pops off, and you have like these creatures. Like some of the fights almost reminded me of like Death Stranding one, where it was like really like mm, really it was like really trippy, like not quite like as goopy, as Death Stranding is with like all the tar and stuff, but this is more like I guess also kind of like Stranger Things or something out of like Pan's Labyrinth, where it's like
Oh,
they
what
they
pants lab?
they
I'm sorry.
yeah, it was Pan's Labyrinth, sorry to say. um they kind of like don't have faces, and they're like missing, like they got like holes in their face and like holes in their body, and they're like these like creatures that come at you, but then they're attached to these like almost like things that you might find in like a like an 80s movie where they're like, oh, the computer came to life and it like digitizes everything, and that's kind of what it is. And it's like a tethered to this cube that is fighting you, attacking you, that can turn into like a sword, and you got to like parry it and stuff. And then as you're fighting, you're also using your stamina, and so you lock onto the enemy. You can send your drone to like the creature that is attached to the digital cube. So you send the drone over there, it distracts it so it doesn't fight you, and then you go and fight the cube, kill the cube, and then go over and you can like instantly kill the creature with like just by tapping A. I was using of course a Stadia controller, as one does. Um so
Not alone,
yeah.
single-handedly. Hmm.
Right? Yeah. I think earlier in the week actually I said, "You know what this game feels like? This feels like a game that would be a Stadia exclusive." And I didn't realize that apparently that was an insult. I didn't mean it that way, but
Yeah, but I would take it as an insult. Like you
yeah.
mean like, oh, it's good enough for the dying
No, it was like
system.
it was this game called Gloomy Eyes, and it kind of reminded me of there was that one game that was Stadia
It was like
exclusive.
that guilt or glilt. It starts like a G.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I know what it is. I
But
just
yeah,
can't.
it kind of reminded me of that. But yeah, it's like Gloomy Eyes is kind of like what if Little Nightmares, ooh, but the character design was like Funko Pops. It was weird. But anyway, Hell is Us. I'm enjoying my time with it. The thing that got me to stop playing was exactly that, where they were like, "We're not going to tell you where to go." So I got to a part I couldn't figure out where to go, and I left. And then I was going to come back, but then Cronos: The New Dawn showed up. Um,
Yeah, you dipped into that as well. I'm guessing.
yep, and so I jumped into that, and so what happened was I had the both of these games are running on the new 5080s that they have on
Yeah.
GeForce Now, and I was like, oh, let me just pump up the stuff to the max. It turns out, listen, I don't know how computers work, but
Oh,
yeah,
I'm guessing it didn't go well, huh?
well, the Chronos was less favorable um than Hell is Us. Hell is Us I could put on like ultra. Chronos I put on like ultra, like high. Everything was on high, ray tracing, everything, and it would be like 60 frames a second, but then um if too much was happening on the screen, it would start to drop, and I was like, well, I'd rather just have a smooth 60, so I like bumped it down to like some of the, ray tracing and stuff. But anyway, Chronos The New Dawn, you play as a woman who is in like this machine. It's like a weird story, which I kind of zoned out for some of it. You're basically like going back in time to find out what happened with that caused the stuff that happened now in the future. You have to go back in time to figure out what caused it to happen, and it's like, it. it is a third person shooter made by Bloober Team, which it's hard for me to say Bloober Team. Like I can't um just a silly name, Bloober Team, to take
Especially for like the
seriously.
types of games they make, you know?
Right, yeah. Yeah,
They make
exactly.
like super grim, core-ish types games, you know, and the bloop.
Yeah, exactly. Um but so this is kind of like third person shooter. It's kind of like Dead Space, right? Where you're like, it feels like Dead Space, like it feels like a mix between.
uh, which Dead Space? Like the earlier Dead Spaces or like the last one, you know? Because
Oh,
the
like the
earlier ones were
remake.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of feels like that. Yeah, they were just going for like the Dead Space vibe with like the enemies, but the difference is like you're not shooting. Like you can shoot them, right? But then you're not like shooting off limbs, basically.
Okay.
So the problem I had with it was when you're shooting the enemies, it feels like there's nothing. Um, like it feels like you're hitting the enemies, but it doesn't feel like your shots are doing anything. If that makes any sense. So it
Yeah, it's just they're soaking it up, you know.
right, yeah, just a bunch of sponges. And then what happens is you leave enemies on the ground, you have to light them on fire. If you don't light them on fire, then when another enemy comes back, whether it's um in the same section like while you're fighting, or if you leave and come back again, you might see the enemies come back, and what they do is they kind of suck up the dead enemy and then become a different enemy entirely, and you have to take them out.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's like it's not my favorite in terms of I'm just listen, I'm just here, I'm just a chill guy trying trying to live my life. um I'm not trying to uh fight for my life with these creatures that are then transforming. Um, and the in terms of like navigating and like knowing where to go, it's a little bit better. Like you can hit a button and it'll kind of like gives you a general idea of where you need to go. And so, I mean, I like when games do that. But in terms of like the actual shooting doesn't quite feel as good as I was hoping for, but it does actually look really nice, even with the settings that I ended up having. And yeah, I'm Chronos The New Dawn. I'm still gonna try some more of that and Hell Is Us, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've been playing outside of Silksong. But I know somebody named Mel who played, what is it, Daemon X Machina, Titanic Scion.
Because I was surprised how much I played this game this week. Because we did have Silksong shopping as well, and I played a good amount of that. It's just I thought the inverse was going to happen. I thought I would play so much of Silksong, and not so much as Damon. But I actually ended up playing more Damon than Silksong. I have like I think like 33 hours into Damon right now, so that's a pretty hefty amount.
Oh yeah.
And I played the beta demo. I guess they launched like a couple weeks beforehand, and I liked it enough because I actually did play the first one, and I was kind of hoping uh this game wouldn't repeat some of the same problems as the first one for the Switch T release version of it, and unfortunately it does with the performance issues. But like aside from that, like the game itself does improve on in each area over the first game. Like the story's better. Um, you have like more combat moves. Everything. You have like more gear abilities and such. There's a lot of things you can do to mix match up your mechs, so you're not gonna really want into like one mech's just like dominating everything.
Right,
And
yeah.
the game does pretty much, like the story. It's kind of like Monster Hunting, where you do the story, but it's like primarily like not the main thing. You want to keep fighting these bosses to get like better gear parts, and just make your mech overall better. And there's a lot of stuff to do in this game aside from the story. There's like you can collect the gear stuff. There's the Coliseum. You can fight like these pre-made mechs. Unfortunately, I don't think there's like an online version of that. I hope in the future there is because it's perfect for like a one-on-one fight. And there's like these little decals to collect. They even have like this card game. I hate card games, but like it seems like decently in depth enough to where you can waste a couple hours just doing the card game. And actually am surprised how much I like this. And you can play a lot of this in co-op. So you can do like most of the story as long as like you're not doing like too far ahead, like if like one person's like too far ahead, you might be locked out of some missions. Because you can do like side quests like that too. And
Oh
let's
wait,
see.
so if someone's in front of you, you can play. You can
There's
still
like
join
the
their mission, or do you have? Is it like because in Monster Hunter, you can only join a mission if you are already either played the mission or are high enough rank to play the mission. Is it kind of like the
for
same
like
thing?
for like the side quests, there's like a little ranking system where like you could fall into and you can meet that kind of thing. For the story, I think you pretty much have to be closer on pace because I did play online quite a bit for this because I think that's honestly the way to go. I
Yeah.
think it's just more fun having more people into your game, and like you can set it up to where like it's like I want to focus on the story, or I just want to explore. Oh, I just want to fight bosses. So there's different categories. So it's not like you're joining somebody's um, play session and they're doing stuff you don't want to do. That type of thing. And it's okay. Maybe in the Switch 2 version, but it should be easy to join these things. But I had a lot of issues technical wise with this game because
Yeah.
first of all, when I loaded it up, I remember telling you I was like, I can't get online to work at all on my account, and I tried like 10 different things. I tried to download the game. I made sure it was updated. Uh, I tried signing in like my full system again. I did a complete shutdown. I redowned the cloud save that I had from the beta because like the beta save carried over to the full game, and you got like a couple of little early stuff to help you out on. And
Oh, okay.
I did everything, and I could not get it to work on my account.
And then what was the solution you ended up coming up with?
Okay, I know this is not like the normal solution, but for us, we have like alternate accounts, for reasons. Mine is like the wallet thing. I have the alternate accounts to hold the eShop wallets. I know
Right.
I used to have like a Japanese account too. I still have the Yope account, but yeah, I have separatist accounts for that. So I used one of those accounts to play the game, and it worked easily, perfectly. Nothing went wrong. But I was looking online, and apparently there is an issue with like the Switch 2 version because there is crossplay because this is also out on PC. And honestly, that is the way to play this game. It is on
Yeah. I think it's also on
PC.
everything else, right?
I actually don't know. I know it's on those two because when I do like the crossplay function, because honestly, I'm just finding more people on PC than Switch 2. Because like I tried doing like a group session of the Switch 2, and I
Yeah.
just did not get like any bites. My thing was up for like 40 minutes because I was curious to see how it would go. And it tells you like on the side of your little username, what platform that people are using. And every single person I played with, it was just PC, PC, PC.
Yeah. It is
And
on
like the PC
Xbox
still
and
does have like
PlayStation.
really,
Yeah.
man. I guess nobody's like. I mean, most people in general are not buying this, honestly. But if you really do like a little like creating mechs, there is a lot of stuff you can get for the mech. And
Right. I know
I
with
know my
with
first profile, oh, you can go.
oh no, sorry. I was going to say with Fortnite, like if you play Fortnite on like Switch and stuff, then like people that are on Xbox and PlayStation, I think they have like the same icon that they do on um on PC. So it's like you don't know if you're playing with someone on
Oh, okay.
PC or another system. It's just like you know how Nintendo, Sony,
The
and Microsoft,
universe,
they don't want to be
yeah.
like, they don't want people to be like, man, I'm seeing so many PlayStation icons. It must be doing really well over there. They don't want like people being over there being like,
It
oh,
might
maybe
be
I.
like that, I guess.
So, but yeah, or it could also just be, but like you said, you tried to do just Switch too, and it was
Yeah,
like,
I
haha,
couldn't
nice
get
try.
it
Yeah.
right. Like,
It
yeah, it's just like
Where did it end up in the charts, or did it chart?
I honestly did not see it on the charts.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I know me and you look, constantly. It's probably on the charts now, but
Right.
it's probably like on the lower end. But yeah, there is a lot of like weapons you can get. There's lasers, there's like homing missiles, bazookas, like a bunch of swords, like knives, maces, lances. Yeah, it's just so much cool stuff. And like on my first profile with the beta, like my setup honestly just kind of sucked because it is like Monster Hunter where like you defeat the enemies and then you can like pick up like an item or like a weapon or like a pseudo armor or
Right.
something from the enemies. And like I haven't figured out like the RNG system quite exactly yet for this, but my first file was just like all heavyweight stuff. When you're heavyweight, you're just slow, and like I hate being slow, but like I like the heavyweight because you get like more health. And like the game does teach you that like in the story, and it does a pretty decent job uh, doing so. Because like for different like missions, there might be like an easier way than just sticking to your setup. But some
Right.
people just really like their setups, and you can't just add like a whole bunch of like the highest rating like weapons and stuff. There's like a balance system where it's like you can only have so much of this point system, and you have to make sure everything fits. So depending on like how your mech is like set up, I don't particularly have like a lot of points because I do have a lot of heavy like items. I guess I'm using, which makes sense because like if you're using like a bazooka that shoots out like a laser that takes like like almost like one third of somebody's health. Maybe you should like not have like 20 other things that are also like super high. But you
Right.
can
Yeah.
customize your mech to like tweak it, and you can like figure out stuff. It's like, oh, okay, I can use more items than I thought I could, or like vice versa. And it's actually pretty cool because in a lot of games, like when you fight bosses, you can't really like do like status effects. They're like immune to it. So like, you go through like the whole game, like doing it on enemies, but like you can't do it on the bosses. But in this one, you can. So you can like poison them, you can like freeze them, uh, like burn them, and it slowly chips away. And I like stuff like that because
Yeah.
it's letting you use the full ability of like your powers in your suit at like all occasions. And they do have a lot of stuff with this. That's kind of why I just got like so invested into it because I want to make my mech look really good and I want them to function like really well. And there's just so much stuff you can do. And then like after I beat the game, like you get like more missions, like more of the map unlocks, and there's like I think like 4 to 5 like major map areas, and they're pretty big, honestly. They may not be like the most interesting looking locations, but there's like one location that kind of does remind me of like a Xenoblade type area. So, I do like those. So I was kind of like liking that area a lot. But these types of games are hard to like get into because it depends on what you get and if you're good at adapting. If you're not like good at adapting or like wanting to grind stuff, maybe not like your personal thing. But Yeah, I can see myself still playing this, even though I already beat the story. Because the story in the first one, I'm just gonna tell you right now, I don't remember one part of it.
Oh, real? Wait, the story?
Yeah, in the first game, I don't remember anything. But
Uh,
like at least in this one, I'm gonna remember some stuff. Because like I found it to be like a step up. I mean, you can still probably predict certain parts of where it's gonna go, but I liked a lot of the story fights in this one as well. Because like you can use like environmental stuff with it as well. Because there'll be like these crates around like the boss areas sometimes. And, they inflict like a flash of light, so it like blinds the boss so it can't see you as well. Or like you know, acid, so they like get poison on them. So in the like I remember like in this one little city area, I accidentally picked up like this rod with like a piece of bone on the edge of it, and I was just swinging at the boss with that. It's just pure video game, honestly. That's what this is. It's just like a pure video game.
yeah. With when it comes to when I play games like Destiny or Monster Hunter, if I like a certain weapon, I like that I can go through and upgrade that weapon, and like the weapon that I have, I can just upgrade it and keep upgrading it as I'm going on, and then hope that I can, like, they have other weapons that are basically the same thing in that branch, right? And then it kind of like does the same thing. Can you like take a weapon that you really like that you find early on and then just kind of keep upgrading it, or do you need to find new weapons like that just are similar to that one?
So the game actually does like all three of those options basically. There's these attachments you can equip to your weapon. You can get up to I think like 3 slots, and depending on how like the drops drop, sometimes you can get like a weapon with like 1 to like 3 slots on its own, and sometimes they come with like a little attachments attached to them. Otherwise, you have to get the attachments and you just put them on. Like the attachments can be like this produces like a faster reload time. This produces like a flinch or like a larger range of shooting area. You get like more missiles. There's like a ton of these things you can get. So even if you do find like a weapon you really like and it doesn't have like any slots, you can earn these slots or buy these slots from like certain places. Attach it to that weapon, then you can put the attachments on, and then you just customize it to your playstyle. So like my bazooka is probably not going to be the same as your bazooka, that type of thing,
Okay,
unless
yeah.
you just straight up copy me. But you can keep it, and you can't always have like the most powerful thing on you because again, you have that like memory loading restriction, which you can't tweak with that just based off how you build your mech. But you know, so it kind of does have like a built-in bound system, but people are just gonna figure out a way to get around it, or certain setups.
Is
But the
it
game is still new, so
is it easy to change your weapons? Like, let's, because you were talking about how certain enemies have different weaknesses. Can you take like a weapon with one weakness and then easily switch it out and then add another weapon? Or
So you have like okay, each arm has like 2 weapons attached to it basically, and then you have the shoulder weapon, as like a. So there's like typically like 5 things at once you have when you person.
yeah,
But if you want to switch out like a weapon you don't have in your person, you can't do that on the fly. You have to do that at the base or these little healing spots. It's where you switch out your gear. So you
okay,
can't just like pull it out of thin air. But you do have like 4 to 5 on you at once.
okay, yeah,
And if you have something like really good, maybe you have like 3 to 4 at once because it's taking up more the memory space. Because
right.
like there's like a ranking system. There's like gray, blue, purple, gold. For the weapons. You want stuff after a certain point. And it does have a good amount of close range fighting weapons. and like zoning and long range stuff too. Because I'm more of a close range fighter, honestly. So like, my guy has like two swords or like two brass knuckles on most times, and I'm just going into close up, just
Yeah.
completely just beating the stuff up.
If
But
something
you
like
have to fight.
tries if something tries to punch you, can you like parry it, or is it more about just like dodging the attacks than
Okay. Well, they do have like this little cinematic parry thing where like if both of y'all clash at once, you have to like jam the Y button or whatever, and you do like this little clash, and whoever jams more gets the strike.
okay.
So they have that. Um, you do want to learn how to like dodge properly, though, And there's like these little ice creams you can buy, and
Tasty.
they last. Yeah, it's really cool. I like it because I pretty much bought like an ice cream or two, like before like each mission, because they
Okay,
last
yeah.
like 10 to 15 minutes depending on what you get, and it boosts. It gives you like a little boost. It's not like anything amazing, but it's still good because it's like, hey, your stamina meter might fill up faster. You might run on the ground faster. You can dodge easier. So, and then you get little stuff if you fill out the punch out cards for the ice cream. So, it's stuff like that.
Yeah,
There's
that's
just so much, and like I only scratched like the surface of this because it's one of those games where you beat the story and there's like more stuff to unlock.
right. Yeah. So, it's definitely a game that like even after beating the story, you'll go back to it and then they'll add I mean, it feels like a Monster Hunter like type game.
Yeah, it's really like a Monster Hunter type of game, honestly. Because like I beat the story last night, and then I got more of the map and more missions unlocked, and then like I had like this emergency warning thing, and it's like, hey, new enemy boss drops, and it gave me like a countdown. It's like 4 days. I was like, is this like a weekly thing? Maybe like a
Oh,
new
yeah.
weekly boss kind of drops for a little bit, because like when I saw that, the game technically turned 1 week old. So I was like, I don't know if it's just like, you know, in the future they're gonna keep doing this, or if it's just like a celebration of, hey, we made it to like a week of release.
Right.
Here's
Yeah.
like a little fun enemy boss thing. And like when you do like certain missions and complete them, and like like story stuff as well, you can replay those missions because there's like this little replay station in your hub area. So if you want to grind out for certain parts of certain gear, you can do that. Or you just want to fight some of the story bosses again. Because honestly, I had a lot of fun with a good amount of them. But yeah, I really like this. Even though my system of choice is not the one to play this on, because let me tell you, some of these fights, I was probably seeing like 15 frames, per second.
Oh,
Like my
okay.
guy was like moving like through molasses, and I noticed when I play online, it doesn't matter, well, like with who, it can be like a totally new person. If I'm there with them for like an hour or something, I'm dropping. And the thing that sucks about dropping in this game is for like the online to work, like if I completely drop out of the entire game, it's not as bad. But if I only drop out and they load me up into my game, like my own personal game, I have to go back to the title screen, wait for it to load, then go back into my game and redo the online thing. And the loading times are like a minute, at least a minute. So it's like whenever I drop, it takes me like 3 to 4 minutes just to get back into the game itself. So it's
Oh,
highly annoying.
that
And
does
I
sound annoying.
saw I saw that some people were having problems with the password system. Yeah, I haven't, really touched about that too much. But like, if they make a password that's just like all numbers, they're like their display won't show to other people. So you have to have like letters and
At
numbers
least a
to make
letter
it.
in there. Oh,
Yeah. So mostly I just been doing like open season, so like people can just join in. Because like there are some missions where I think, especially early on, I think they feel a little bit more impossible just doing by yourself. Because there's this one where you have to like defend a base. There's different waves of enemies come out, and it's fine until like the last wave where you're completely surrounded by the whole area, and like there's like these little uh like mission post beams you have to protect, and the enemies they hit him like twice and it goes down and you just lose. Like the only way I completed that was just open it up online. And like the nice thing about that is if you have like the mission selected on your account,
Yeah.
if you complete it online and you have that open on yours, it counts for you too. So
Oh, that's good. And
yeah.
what about like when if you go down or get destroyed in a multiplayer game versus playing by yourself?
Well, by yourself, they do have these little NPCs with you. Sometimes they're there in the multiplayer as well, you know? Because I only had like two extra real players with me, So the biggest party I had technically was five people, but two of those were like NPCs. And
Okay.
it has that system to where you can like, if one of your guys goes down, you can just reboot them, as long as someone's alive.
Okay.
You can
Yeah.
still complete stuff and get like rewards and stuff. But like, if all y'all die, that's kind of it. Because the
Right.
NPCs, they're not saving you. Like, I don't, I don't know if it is an option or it's just their AI is really bad. Just don't count on that. Honestly, just don't count.
So if you're play by yourself and you go down, it's pretty much done.
For the most part, because like you have like certain little life meter things. Like when you start off, you have like three little, I guess like technically like bars of life.
Yeah.
So like you go down like each time you go down. So you know, but like
Okay.
when you're
Yeah.
in like a full multiplayer mode, it's just kind of whatever because you can just revive each
And
other
there's
as
not
long as
like a
like one of
limit
y'all's alive.
to the number of times you
I
can
think
revive.
I think there is a limit. It's just I haven't found it
Oh, okay.
honestly.
Well, that just you're too good. You're too good.
No, that's not it. No, no, I just haven't found it.
uh,
I mean, I wasn't trying to test it, but I was morbidly curious. What is the limit? And I just could not find it. But
yeah.
I think if you just like pure video game stuff, this is the thing to get. Especially if you like mechs, because the action is really fun and there's a lot to customize. And like, you can just lose yourself into it. Like, they even have like this mutation skill system thing, which I didn't really touch upon too much, but it is pretty cool because like for certain weapons you have with it, it lets you do like different unique things. Like someone knows like a grappling hook, so you can just like drag in enemies or go to faster, or like like different swing combos, and stuff like that. And you can only hold so many of those at once as well. So you have to pick and match, that type of thing. But yeah, I really like it. But
That's good.
there is like one part of the story I can't really take seriously
Oh, really?
because okay, I play with the English voices because especially for like a game like this with so much action's going on at once, I can't really like look bottom at the bottom of the screen and read it. There's just so much going on. I don't want to like die. So
Oh,
I
right.
like the English one. For the most part, it's okay. But there's like this one character. His name is Ash, and like every time he delivers a line, I cannot take it seriously.
Well, he's got to catch them all. You know. What can I say?
Because I'm gonna show you the clip after.
Okay.
It reminds me of this. It reminds me of this Breaking Bad video. Because like like in other countries they dub it. So
Oh, right. Yeah.
it reminds me of like their dub version, and it's like insanely bad. Because Breaking Bad's like a really good show, but
Right.
like when something like that happens, it takes you out of the moment. And like every time this guy talked, it took me out of the moment. It was just, you know, he could be like, "You killed my family," and I'm just over there like dying laughing because how he delivered the line, and that's not good.
Right.
But
Yeah.
it's just, you know, uh,
But
but Yeah, I'm liking it. I would suggest not Switch version at all.
Mm.
You know.
Yeah, because this is
Oh,
not on the Switch, just Switch 2, right?
yeah, it's just Switch 2, but even then, I wouldn't suggest this version. Oh, I forgot to mention. Uh, I did see a clip of video, and this guy found like this tower in the game, and if you fly up the tower, it takes you like 6 to 8 real-time hours to get to it.
What?
So, like, yeah, it's just insane.
But you can
There's
fly
just
to it?
insane. Yeah, you can fly to it, but it takes you 6 to 8 like real-time hours, like not in-game hours, like actual hours. Because
And
like he
is there
brought his
anything
friend
there?
there. I don't know what's there because I didn't see that part. He didn't post that as part of the video. I guess he just showed like
That it's
yeah,
possible?
this is the tower that is possible, and he brought his friend there because you can fast travel after you log the like checkpoints, and if you're in a party, like a little pop up screen will pop up and it's like, hey, so and so wants to fast travel, and you like agree or disagree. So he just agreed and he instantly went to that part of the map. So he didn't have to do like the 6 to 8 hours of flying to get to there. But he was just showing his phone. He's like, hey, this is possible. This game does crazy video game stuff like this. And it's just, you know, it's crazy. You don't see stuff like that anymore. But
Right,
this is
yeah.
one of those games where it's like, it probably wouldn't get made by like other companies. And you can kind of tell it doesn't have like nearly as much of a budget as it probably should. But it does do a pretty decent job of using like what it has to the best of its advantages. So,
Right. Because
especially if you like
originally,
the next stuff, I think you should.
the first game was originally Switch exclusive. Nintendo published it. And
Yeah,
so now this is on everything. Is it Marvelous
like
that
day one.
published it?
I think it's Marvelous.
Yeah.
It's either Marvelous or XC. I always get
Oh, yeah.
them.
They probably work
I
together
always
to
get them
bring.
confused because they work together so much.
Yeah.
Because they actually showed the first one as like an opening game for like the
Oh,
summer
yeah.
direct. Yeah, I
Right.
remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, but now Daemon X Machina, Titanic,
It's
Scion.
time.
Yeah. So that's out now. You can go ahead and play it. Um.
Demo. So you should be able to play the demo, I think.
Oh yeah, the demo, and then the save carries over to the full game,
Yeah,
right?
save choice. Yeah, because you can play like the first like 8 chapters
Yeah.
of the game, so that's a pretty decent amount if you to see if you don't like it.
Right. Or see if playing on the Switch, if you're like, I can deal with this performance, you can get it. You know.
See, that's what I thought when I played the demo. I was like, okay, this isn't as bad. This is an improvement from last time. But like doing those later sections, it's like, nah, you can't do it. You shouldn't do it. If you have a choice, you shouldn't do it.
Yeah.
That type of thing. It's like there was this one part where like I had to ride a horse to get into like this building, and like there was a whole bunch of stuff going up. There was like lasers. There's like like 100 different guys fighting, like flames on the ground. My horse, like I died during that section. It's not even hard because like you can clearly see where you have to like dodge stuff. It just felt like I was like going through like tar the entire time.
Mm.
So I had to redo the section again. It wasn't like a overly long section, but it was comically funny, I guess, because like I died like 2 steps away from the
Uh.
from entering the building. So, but
Right.
like it
Yeah.
just did not feel good. And I know it wasn't supposed to be like, oh, it's supposed to feel like this. No, it's not supposed to feel like that. There was just so much going off at once, especially during like these later chapters. And they do have like these little caves and tunnels to explore, and some of those are like really big. You wouldn't think they are, but like there's like this one little mission task thing you can do where you go into like this elevator thing, and it's like 20 different floors of stuff, and like most of it's gonna be like fighting, and you can find stuff. And then like sometimes there's like these little platforming jumping sections to get stuff too. And then like there's like a mini boss or something throughout the levels. So it's like that's also like very interesting to kill like 20 minutes or so at a time just to go through those things
Right, yeah.
and to find even more stuff to collect. And you can customize your mech a pretty decent amount because like you can find like these decals and you know you can like colorize them, place them in different areas. I was trying to see that I could find a watermelon one because I found different food items. I found like a pineapple. I saw like an apple.
And
I
no
had like these
watermelon
burgers. I don't know if there is or not. I have to look because you're like no one's playing this game, so there's like no
coverage of it. Yeah.
yeah, there's no coverage of it. So I just have to keep exploring because there's a bunch of decals you can get, and you get a lot of them through the Coliseum as well. And some of them are like patterns, so where it's like you can make your mech look like patchwork or like caution tape all over it. It's fun and goofy because I had my mech looking serious for like the first half of the game, and then like the second half of the game, I was just
Oh yeah.
like that screenshot where it's like my customized character like in the super serious
Oh yeah.
moments, like a guy in a costume. It's like that. I did, we can do that. It's fun, and I do like seeing all the different mechs because if you play online, you can see what people die at, and then you can take stuff from their bodies. So you can kind of see what kind of setups they have sometimes. Because sometimes you can take some of the weapons, and sometimes they're really good. But yeah, I really like it. I'm probably gonna keep playing it. I was surprised how much I played it this week, especially over the last game we have to talk about.
Yeah, that's true. You were like, "Oh yeah. Actually, I haven't been playing that much Silksong." And I mean, I understood because you didn't really like Hollow Knight all that much. So it, so it made a lot of sense. I had to turn you on to Hollow Knight just
Oh,
like I
oh
did
yeah,
Hades. Yeah.
yeah. No, you did Hades. No, I was trying to do Hollow Knight for you for years, and then you end up really liking this game.
Yeah. That's exactly what happened. We're gonna go ahead. Yeah, Hollow Knight, Silk Song. Let's dive into that. Yeah, so Hollow Knight, Silk Song. Both of us played it quite a bit. It turns out I played it quite a bit more than you, which I did not see coming. I
I didn't either, honestly, because like we showed each other our maps before we started, and usually like the map you have is the map I would have, but it is
right,
what it is, I guess.
because we're pretty much like both of us are just diving into it. But with you playing Daemon X Machina, I can see not doing the same thing with
I did not expect that, but I really like that game
right.
despite all
Yeah.
of the performance issues.
And I played Hollow Knight, but leading up to Silksong, right? And I was like, let me play Hollow Knight. I was like, I'm gonna beat it, uh,
You said it like 2 days before the game
yeah.
came out.
I was like, I'm gonna beat
It
it.
was like,
How long could it be? So it turns out it was like 30 hours. It said, and I was like, I'm not gonna beat it, but I'm gonna play it. And so what I did was I played it for like, I think I played a total of like 7 hours of Hollow Knight, and then I got,
yeah, because you streamed it, and I saw
yeah.
like 4 hours of that, so that's pretty
Yeah.
decent amount.
And then I played some more and then but the problem is I played some more the next day and then I waited like 3 days because I had some other stuff that I was playing and then when I came back to it I was like I don't remember any of this. I don't remember where I was, where I had to go, what I was doing, and I didn't have that many abilities and so I was like, you know what, Silk Song's out in a few days, I'll just wait for that. Um and so that's exactly what I did. What did you think like when you first started Silk Song?
It's weird because it's one of those situations where it's like this feels so familiar and similar, but then at the same time it doesn't because like her movement is totally different than the knight from like Hollow Knight,
Right,
especially like her pogoing because I pogoed a lot in the first game, but like her pogo is like at a diagonal, and
right. It's like
there's a
an
certain there's like a certain rhythm to it too, and I just was not getting it the first couple of hours, so it didn't feel good. And I hate not feeling good movement wise or like combat wise. Like it makes me really hate a game,
Right.
you know.
Especially when you're moving a lot in a game. A lot of movement, a lot of moving in that game. Um, but yeah,
But
that
Silksong is a little bit nicer because it gives you like the dash a lot sooner than Hollow Knight. So like you do once you get like that little extra little pep in my step, you know, I felt better. You know, I was getting attached to. I'm not attached. I was getting like just the hang of the loop better. You know, so
right. Yeah.
it still has the charm system. It still has like the map, how it works. You know, and I'm terrible at directions. So I always have to have the compass on so I know where
Mhm.
exactly I'm at on these maps.
Right. I know some people complain like, "Oh, you're not doing it right if you're using the compass." I have that compass on all the time. I don't
I
even
have
know
to.
like, "Oh, I can have two items on my crest that I have," and it's like, "No, I can have one item because one is always going to be the compass." I'm never
Exactly. It's like, oh, I have
Yeah,
one.
I'm never not going to have the compass. What happens is when I get a new crest, because like you can get the crest, we'll talk about that in a minute, but um you get those and they swap out, take out all the stuff you had equipped, and it's like you kind of it basically like changes your move set. So you basically have the main one, which is like you do your pogo, your downward strike down at a like a 90-degree angle. The one thing I like about that is you're doing it, and then when you do it, it gives you forward momentum. Whereas I have another like a crest which kind of like changes your movement and changes your ability, like gives you different abilities, and basically you beat an enemy or find it somewhere and you get these crests which changes kind of like your move set sort of. um and when they do that, I was like, okay, so they're going to change the move set, and then it takes me a minute to get used to it. But what also happens is, yeah, they changed like the from a downward, or the like the 90-degree angle, to just straight down with the one that I use the most. And
Yeah.
when they do that, it's like when I switch back and forth, because sometimes I'll switch back and forth if I'm like moving through an area. I'll be have like your you'll be able to move around faster, and you have a longer reach with your needle or your sword, and then other times, if you with the other one, it's like does more like a wider range of damage, but it you don't reach as far. So if I'm trying to get somewhere, odds are I'll probably switch out the crest until I maxed out the crest that I have now, and now I just don't even bother changing. At least I haven't yet. I'm still in Act 1. We're both still in Act 1.
Yeah, we're both back on. Yeah.
um we looked it up ahead of time. I think I'm like 30 hours into, I think like 29.2 or something. So, might as well be 30. Because what I did was I started one game save originally, recorded
Hmm.
footage, and then when I started streaming, I started another save and then just
Oh,
stuck to
okay, that
that
makes
save.
sense.
So I played like an hour and then kept going. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, um, in terms of like the way it feels like, uh, it so it is kind of like a Metroid game, or Metroidvanias the kids call
Just
it.
a bit.
Well, maybe not the kids, maybe the adults call it that.
They're gonna be calling Hollow Knights now.
Yeah,
Halloween
a hollow
is
like. Yeah,
Hollow Knight.
yeah, and so they have that, and then but then in terms of going around, and um it's like really open ended kind of, like there's multiple places you can go somewhere. If you feel like you're hitting a wall, it's okay to like just go back and go another way, and then see if you can get other stuff that might help that um walk through like easier, going forward. And yeah, it's it's just definitely a game that I ended up am really like. I'm really like vibing with right now, but then also dying a lot as well. I don't know about
Yeah.
you, but I'm dying a lot.
I feel like I was just a lot better at Hollow Knight than this one. But like I'm also noticing that I am missing some stuff because I peek in, just see what people are doing, because this is one of those games where it's like there's so many areas to explore. Like there's bound to be ways to get early access to certain areas, because you do gain like different abilities as you play. Like there's like the dash, there's like a wall jump,
Right.
there's like the little hover,
Hmm.
you can just like fly stuff. And you know if there's like certain enemy placements, you can try to like lure them into like a certain like cliff or like ledge you can't get, and just pogo off for them and then like reach an area like that. So it's interesting to see how people just play this in general, because like it's kind of hard to talk about. It's like, oh, where are you at? It's like, well,
Right.
I'm moving here in this section, because there is like a story to follow, but like you know uh maybe it's not always like telegraphic clear where exactly you have to go. But I just get distracted so easily, and I just end up in like areas I probably shouldn't be at, because like I explore those little ant section. I feel like I did that like way sooner than I was supposed to, because a lot of those ants are just taking like two hits off you. You only have like five masks to start with, and I
Right.
still only have five. And like I found like one extra like mask piece, but like I feel like I should have found more by now, because there's a ton of little secrets and stuff in these areas, and you know you might find some people didn't find. It's always like a exchange of info if you talk to other people, because I know we've been talking doing our playthroughs. It's like, oh, did you do this section yet? It's like, oh, I haven't done this, but like I've done this instead. It's like, oh, this is how I defeated this boss, even though it wasn't like the intended way.
Right.
That's
Yeah.
kind of what I really like about this, because you can just learn so much just by talking to someone just like 5 minutes at a time. It's like, oh, I got to go back to that area. I got to go back and explore. And it does feel like this one does have, I guess, more interesting like NPCs and stuff for me. Because like I did talk to them like in Hollow Knight. Because like Hollow Knight's story, it's kind of like there's a general one, and then there's one where you can like, you have to like talk to everybody and like explore the background and do that type of stuff. I feel like in this one, I'm just more interested in like just the first wave of NPCs, I guess.
Oh yeah.
Especially like that one that does that little chant. Everybody knows that chant, so
Oh yeah.
it's very catchy. And I hope
Yeah.
nothing bad happens to her.
Sure.
But
Sherma. Yeah. Sherma. Yeah.
yeah, so, yeah.
Um. And yeah, I definitely like when you're like exploring a section, when you get to a new area, you don't have a map, and then you hear, I think it's Chakra, you hear her like singing, and it's like, yeah, and it's like as you get closer you hear her singing, plus she has like the rings around that kind of like shows like you're getting close to where she is, and then you get up to her, and then you don't have enough rosary beads to buy the map, so you gotta come back, but at least you know where she is, you know. um
This game is surprisingly forgiven and unforgiven at the same time, because like with the rosary system, yeah, like you die, you have to recollect it and get your money back. But they also have these little things where you can just like deposit rosaries, and it makes like a rosary like you can have in your hand, and you just
mhm,
break it when you need it.
right.
And you know, I think it's a smart system. I think it's slightly annoying still, but
Right.
it's better than losing all of my money, because actually right now I don't have any like needle upgrades. I only have like one projectile move, and I see people with like little ninja stars. Like I don't have those, but
Right.
it's just
And then it's
it.
like, yeah.
I never feel bad at the game. I just feel bad at myself, because it's like I know I could do this. But I don't feel like anything's been like cheap so far. Like I know there's been like I know like the traps, sometimes they get me, but like I don't feel like, oh, this is like unforgivable, that type of thing. It's just it's like,
Right.
okay, I just remember there's a trap next time. And now I notice like there's like uh there is like a physical change, like notice the difference if you actually pay attention to the environment. I know where they are at now, but I don't like that. There's like this one shop you have to pay money each time you go into. I don't like that thing. But I
Right.
did see there's like a little lever or something you can break, and then you can just bypass that. Because I'm doing the next time I go there. Because I don't like paying like $30 to go in
R-
and like try to
right.
buy stuff.
Yeah. And then you can rest in there. And then there's another one that like you charge to sit, and then you sit and rest, and then
Yeah,
when you stand up it goes away and you got to pay again to sit again.
yeah,
Um
pretty much. So you want to have some type of money on you at all times in this.
right.
It's just I think early on I'm having a little bit of trouble managing the money because I'm just doing a lot and I have to go back and get the money.
Right.
And
Yeah. And yeah,
but right now I am just collecting money just to buy stuff. Like I'm trying to buy that key you told me about because I know where the key is at because I defeated that little I don't know if it's like a mid boss or anything, but like that one that just like is on top of the ceiling and just spits out that acid stuff.
oh yeah.
You have
I
to like
didn't
run underneath
even
those little platforms.
I didn't even beat that. I just ran like cuz I have the dash, so
Yeah, you can just yeah, you can just run, yeah.
and
But
then I was like, "Oh, I beat it." And then it's like I kept meaning to go back to beat it, but I just never did, and then forgot about it until you mentioned it just now.
because I found like another little boss. It's like that fly that that big fat fly everybody hates.
The savage fly,
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, I hate the thing. And
yeah.
I was dying a lot on that, and I was just like, I'm tired of this fly. I'm tired of doing this. So I went back to that other area with the acid thing, and I killed that. And then I noticed the key slot there, and I was like, oh, which key do I need for this? And then he told me which key.
Oh
So
yeah.
that's my mission right now, aside from like just unlocking more areas, because you have a lot more areas unlocked than I do. So I'm trying to like really explore the ones I do have to get like the most of my abilities or like extra little things to find. And I really do like the monster book collection thing.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I didn't really pay attention last time, I guess, but I really like her little comments on the book she
On the
makes.
bugs,
Uh,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, so like now I'm actually gonna try to fill that out. I think there's like maybe one I can't do, but like I'll fill out all the others, because there is a secret mode to this actually, and I'm never doing it, but I mean, there's an option.
I tried it. Yeah, the Steel Soul mode, which you like enter in a sort of kind of quasi Konami code, and then it's like you go to the extra menu, push up, down, left, right, and then boom, you hear a ding and the chime, and then anytime you go to start a new game, it gives you the option to use the Steel Soul, and yeah, one permadeath. So basically, you can't die. There's an achievement for beating that at 100%, and then there's an achievement for getting beating it, getting it 100% in under 30 hours or something like that. Um, it's insane. I don't know
Yeah, I can't do it. There's no way.
what.
I'm gonna watch somebody do it, but I can't do it. There's no
Oh
way I can do
yeah, no. It's fun. It's fun to like dream, but I don't know if I can dream that big.
it. I'm a very realistic person. I'm not much of a dreamer at all. So I always saw that as a non-option. But then when you told me there's 100% achievement for that mode, I was like, they are insane. That's probably why it took them like 8 years because they probably tried to do it themselves, and I was like, I guess this is technically possible. But I know
Right.
there's gonna be somebody on Twitch or like on YouTube that makes a video of them doing it, and I'm gonna watch it and be like, man, I can do it. I'll try it once and that'll be it.
Yeah. I don't. I would be saving all the time. Definitely, for sure.
Gotta be saving. Gotta be saving. I mean, I save like almost every bench I see.
Right.
I
Yeah.
just I don't despise doing the backtrack most of the time, but there is like some parts where it's like, okay, I do feel like this is a little too much, but then immediately after I say that, I find like another bench that's closely right there. So it's like, oh, I took the long way.
Right, yeah.
So
A lot of times that'll happen
that's
where it's
kind of what
like,
I needed that time.
it's gonna take me so long to get back to this boss. Sometimes the trek back to the boss is harder than the boss itself.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah. So you're about what, 19 or 20 hours in? I'm like 30 hours in.
I think I'm like 15, so
Okay, yeah.
not as much as you. So like half is yours basically,
Yeah.
which makes sense because if you look at our maps, I'm missing like half of your
Right.
map, so
Yeah.
that makes
That's
sense.
true. Yeah. And yeah. And one thing I said, like I said before, where um I like how, like, you might find something in one section of the map that'll be like, oh, this will make it so like fire damage is less. So then when you fight a boss, if you're wearing it, instead of
Yeah,
getting 2 damage from it, you're only getting 1. And so I like stuff like that when they do
I do.
things like that.
I do. Yeah, I do like stuff like that too. Because I had to take that one off when I got the better healing charm, where you can like heal when like they can't hit you, that type of thing. While you're
Right.
healing, because it takes a while to heal, but that's the whole point of healing. You can't just like do it instantly and fast. It has to be like some kind of compromise for it.
Right. Yeah.
And
Exactly.
I know they did mention they're putting a patch out, or maybe there's a patch out, but to make some of the earlier parts of the game easier,
Hmm.
I'm trying to like defeat those things before it hits the Switch 2. I don't think we
Right.
have that yet. I think we get it next week. So I'm hoping to do that, which should probably happen. Because honestly, like, there's like, I think 40-ish bosses in the game. And I typically do like 3 or 4 a day. So it's not like the biggest thing ever. But, it does take me a while for some of these bosses just to get through. Because, like, I can know the pattern. It's just, I have really bad, like, anxiety, I guess. Like, once I get to, like, when I notice the boss is about to die, I just
Oh
grew
yeah.
up in some comic league way, and then I have to like uh
You're like,
save myself, and
that
then
next that
that type of
next
thing.
hit's got to be it. So you just keep hitting him over and over again, even if you're getting hit, being like, they got to be almost
Yeah,
goner, and then it
yeah,
turns
it's
out
gotta
no,
die.
it's just you that's gone.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
another phase.
Right.
But because I did the Greymore boss last night, and apparently this boss gets a lot of people early on, and I think there's one immediately after that's the same thing, and I did encounter her once. But I instantly died because I didn't know she was gonna pop out of the ceiling. So she just smacked me, and that was it.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
And
I gotta go
so,
back and do that.
but yeah, I'm really enjoying it, and normally we would talk more than 20 minutes about a game, but since we'll probably be back here next week talking
Next
about
week,
it
yeah,
again, yeah. But we
because this
wanted to
is
at
my
least
main
give
thing
our
next week.
first impressions, and then, yeah. And so we'll be playing a lot more of that. But yeah, games to discover. We're out here talking about games that we discover, so you can therefore discover them. Um, but yeah, who knows what, there's a Nintendo Direct tomorrow. So as soon as the Nintendo Direct got announced, I got a message from Mel and was like, "Want to record Thursday?" Because we weren't sure if the Direct was going to be Thursday or Friday, and then we
Yeah,
found out. Yeah.
because sometimes we do like a little, prediction guessing thing. It's
Right.
just we had so much stuff in September. Like it's hard to do that. I rather just do like a quick recap if we don't have a lot of stuff we played next week. Because
Yeah.
honestly, I'm telling you right now, this is my main game. I'm hoping to maybe finish it, at least once.
We can
Because I
only
heard
hope.
there's like multiple endings, so
Yeah. That's what I heard
I
as
hope.
well. Um, but yeah, so games to discover. Hollow Knight Silksong is out on everything. Game Pass if you have that. And yeah, give it a go. And we'll talk to you next week. Toodaloo.
See ya.